If you grew up watching as many movies as I did, I'm sure you've seen many of them were cases of switched identities. You know, the classic, it's almost a cliche. There's the two twin identical brothers, and one gets mistaken for the other one, or they get separated at birth, and later on, they it's mistaken who's who, and lots of funny things happen. It's kind of predictable, kind of easy comedy. But on Daf 33 of Yevamot, we talk about these scenarios in a very different way. We talk about what happens if this actually happens. I mean, imagine you've got a scenario here. You've got two identical twin sisters. And back then, it's not like people dated for 3 years and, then moved in together and had a 2-year engagement and then got married. It's like very often people were meeting for a very short period of time. And then you were arranging this engagement and then marriage. So what if you did have a swap? What if you did have two people who, well, there was an engagement here, really forgot which was who, you promised me one of your twin daughters, but I don't really recall which of them it was. They kind of look the same to me. The ramifications of it we go through on Daf 33 of Yevamot can be pretty dramatic, because back then the engagement was something that had legal standing. So you get engaged to somebody, and then a lot of time would pass, and then you'd have the marriage. But literally, if you want engaging one person and then marrying someone else, and two couples were in that scenario, then you really have, according to Jewish law, you've got cases that they're both involved in adultery, because each one of them was kind of like married, because that's the legal status they actually had at engagement. Now, these days, we avoid a whole lot of problems, including that one, by having the official legal engagement happen 5 minutes before the marriage. It happens at the same marriage ceremony. So you never have this case of this person was engaged to person A, and then 3 months later they wound up with person B, and all the crazy ramifications that happen there. We try to just avoid them entirely. But as Daf 33 of Yevamot goes into, there could be a whole lot of problems if you thought you married one person and then wound up marrying the other. You engaged one person and then married the other, and unintentionally. Obviously, a whole bunch of problems if you do it intentionally, but the unintentional ones is that really both these people would have the status of being married, the one who was just engaged and the one who completed the marriage. And if they were two different guys, then it would be considered a case of adultery. And so you really need to know who it is you're planning on marrying, and make sure that you don't actually get confused.